Right. So I'm back, and this time I am going through the match day 1 predictions of the World Cup. I'm going through every single prediction or every single match that will be happening along these 5-6 days, I believe, starting tomorrow, because I'm recording this the day just before the World Cup starts with Qatar versus Ecuador. It's gonna be really interesting, but let's get away with every game. So it's gonna be 16 matches. I'm gonna try to say them quickly, but yeah, let's see what we say. So to open off the World Cup, the first game, it's Qatar versus Ecuador, and I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. I think both teams are really solid. I think Qatar has a weaker side, but they are the home nation, and they definitely have a solid shot of, proving that they can compete up against these teams, and they could definitely pull off an upset and win. But honestly, I think Ecuador just might be a little too strong, and I think that's why it's gonna be a 1-1 draw. The other matchup in Group A is going to be Senegal versus Netherlands, and I think it's going to be a very thrilling 3-2 win for the Netherlands. I think Senegal are going to try to do as much as they can to defeat the Netherlands, but I think Netherlands are a little too strong for them, and I think Netherlands are going to start this campaign off with a victory. Highly anticipated England versus Iran now, and I think it's going to be a pretty comfortable win to England. 2-0 victory, their first clean sheet and their first victory in this competition. I think they're going to go far. They need to start off strong, and I think they're going to do it up against Iran. USA versus Wales, now the second game of Group B, and it's going to be a very tough one. I think both of them are quite evenly matched. I think USA has just a little bit better of a squad. I think their talent, their youthful players are a little bit better, but even so, don't count out Wales and Gareth Bale. But with that being said, I think I'm going to give USA the victory with a 2-1 scoreline. Kicking off Group C now, Argentina versus Saudi Arabia, and I think it's going to be a very, very comfortable victory, and I think it's going to be a 5-0 victory to Argentina. I might be overestimating them, but Argentina just looks too good. Saudi Arabia, as much as you guys can definitely try to do something up against Argentina, as well as they've been going so far, I don't see it happening, at least not in this match day. So push on for the next one, maybe. Mexico versus Poland now. This is a very tough one, of course. I'm repping the Mexico jersey, but it's going to be a very tough one. I think this game might decide where each team finishes, but I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. It's going to be very tough. It could easily be a 1-1, or one of these teams could definitely win, but I think it's going to be a draw. It's going to be very highly contested. It's going to be very difficult, but vamos Mexico. A very injury and very struggling France versus Australia, and I think it's going to be a pretty hard game for France, and I think they're going to draw 1-1 to Australia. It's going to be tough. I think Australia, they don't have much talent. I think their squad is a little lackluster, but I don't know. France seems to struggle, so I think that's going to be a draw for them, and it's going to kick off a pretty bad run of form for them, at least in this World Cup. Opposite to France, we have Denmark versus Tunisia, and I think opposing their result, I think Denmark is going to have a pretty comfortable victory, a 3-0 victory against Tunisia. Tunisia can definitely pull off an upset, but I don't see it happening, not against Denmark. Denmark is definitely capable of putting teams away, and I think with the talent that they have, like Christian Eriksen, and having a pretty solid backline with Andreas Christensen, it's going to be pretty tough to beat. So that's why I'm going to go for Denmark to beat Tunisia, 3-0. Group B now, Spain versus Costa Rica. I think Spain will kick off their campaign with a thumping 4-0 victory up against Costa Rica. It's going to be very tough, but I think Spain will demonstrate their quality. I think Costa Rica don't have enough attacking power to be able to score a goal up against Spain, and I think Spain they're finally finding the rhythm with the likes of Ansu Fati, Pedri, and so many other players. I think it's going to be really good for them, and I think starting off a strong campaign with a 4-0 victory can definitely push them to bigger things for this campaign, for this tournament. Germany versus Japan, and although this scoreline that I have put is a pretty comfortable victory for Germany, I don't think it's going to be that comfortable actually in the game. It's going to be a 3-0 victory for Germany, but I think Japan are going to make it quite difficult. I think Germany's defense is probably their strongest thing at the moment, their strongest set, but don't count out their attack with the likes of Serge Gnabry, Thomas Muller, but also don't count out Japan. Japan also have a very good squad with the likes of Kubo and so many others. Sorry, I had a lot more in my head, but they completely slipped my mind, but that's besides the point. 3-0 victory to Germany, but Japan will make it tough, and maybe they might score a few goals, maybe even tie up the game, but you never know. Belgium versus Canada now, and I'm having a pretty high scoreline for this one. I'm going to go for a 4-2 victory to Belgium. Belgium have a great side, Canada have a pretty decent side, but it's their first World Cup in so many years. so it's going to be difficult for them. But you know, they can make it a little bit difficult for Belgium. Belgium, their defense isn't that great apart from Thibaut Courtois, so I think they will concede quite a few goals in this campaign. Morocco versus Croatia now, the runner-up versus a pretty solid side in Morocco, but I'm going to go for a somewhat easy victory for Croatia. I say somewhat easy because Morocco will make it difficult for them, but I think it's going to be 2-0 to Croatia. Croatia, they don't have much in attack, but their midfield and their defense seems really rock solid, really strong. They have a lot of talent going forward, and I think it could be a pretty, you know, satisfactory victory for Croatia. So 2-0. Arguably the most entertaining match, at least in my opinion. It's very high scoring, very interesting to watch. I think it's going to be Brazil versus Serbia. Now, I put a 4-3 victory to Brazil just because I know Serbia have a lot of talent in attack. I know Mitrovic and I believe Vlahovic aren't going to be starting in this game because it's the first game and I believe they're still picking up a little knock, but I think Dusan Tadic, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, and a few other players from Serbia can definitely pull off something and score quite a few goals, but I think Brazil will quite comfortably be able to outscore them. And you know, 4 goals seems a little too much, but I mean, so does 3, so I feel like the scoreline might be the most exaggerated, but I can definitely see it happening in this game. So yeah, 4-3 victory to Brazil. And out of all of these matches, I have the most entertaining one, and right after I think we're going to have the most boring one. It's going to be Switzerland versus Cameroon. I think it will be hard fought, but I think it's going to end up a 0-0 draw between these two sides. Cameroon have a lot of talent, so do Switzerland, and it can definitely be a highly contested match, and that's why I'm going for a draw. And I don't think they have much to score with, although Eric Choupo-Moting is definitely a great talent, and same with the likes of Brillon Bolo of Switzerland, but still, I'm having a 0-0 draw. Maybe they can prove me wrong, but yeah, it's a draw for them. Portugal versus Ghana now, and I think this is going to be one of the upsets of the entire tournament, and it's going to be a 2-2 draw for Ghana and Portugal. I think they're each going to share points. I think if Ronaldo keeps starting, and if Santos does not change, Santos being the Portugal manager, does not change anything within the squad, I think it's going to be a very tough round of fixtures for Portugal, and I think they will crash out of the group if nothing changes, and if Ronaldo is allowed to be in the squad and is, you know, stays as the main figure, you know, he's gonna continue acting like a diva, and I think it's only gonna hurt Portugal. Meanwhile, don't take anything away from Ghana. They have a great side, Iñaki Williams and so many others. I think Iñaki Williams will have a great game, maybe even score twice to get the draw up against Portugal. A very, very tough game to predict, Uruguay versus South Korea. But I'm going to go for the South American side to win this game, get all 3 points, and be able to start off this tournament as, you know, something that they want to prove. I think they're going to get a victory, 3-2 victory for the Uruguayan side. Because I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but Heung-min Son might be injured for this first game, so it will be tough for South Korea to get a result up against Uruguay. But once he comes back, it'll be a little bit easier. They'll be a little more inspired, and they're going to push on to try to get a top 2 spot and, you know, progress into the round of 16 as I predicted before. So yeah, but I think Uruguay will win this game 3-2. So those were all my predictions for this first match day of the World Cup. It starts tomorrow and I cannot wait. I'm going to watch as many games as possible. I'm going to have to stay up late or wake up super early to watch these games, but I don't really care. I'm so excited for this World Cup. It's coming and I cannot wait to watch it. And hopefully I'll be able to provide a little more depth into more match days as the tournament progresses. I know it's going to be really quick, but I'm going to hopefully pull off a lot more videos of this World Cup. I want to cover it as much as possible, especially how Mexico do. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and lates.